Okay, hello everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the Print on Demand Mastery course. We have gone through session 1. This is session 2, and I'm excited to be able to talk with you today. Hopefully everyone was able to get started on some of the simple homework, which was to create your free accounts. If you didn't create them, we're definitely going to be covering that in session 3 again. So you still have time if you want to create your free accounts. So with session 2, we're going to go ahead and get started. Then I'll unmute everybody at the end, and you can definitely ask any questions that you have about today's class. In between, I may pause just to allow you to ask some questions because there's always some pretty good questions that come up. So let's begin. So today's session is about, we're going to be covering getting started or getting organized and setting goals. We're going to be covering copyright, trademark, and branding. I'm actually going to share some links with you all so that you have the opportunity to kind of look at some of that stuff yourself. And I will share my experience and my knowledge with copyright, trademark, and branding. Then we're going to talk about printables, downloadables, and digital products, physical products, and books. Session 3, we will actually begin the process of creating or getting prepared to create our printable products. So you might want to make some notes. This may be a good day to make some notes. There will be multiple activities in today's session. So hopefully you will get those activities completed so that you can stay caught up with the class. So with that being said, the first thing is about getting organized. So the biggest thing about getting organized for me as part of this journey is we're going to, hopefully you will write out some goals that you have that you want to target for taking this class. You took this class for a reason or this course for a reason. And so you probably have some goals and some objectives you want to reach. Like maybe you want to make X number of dollars in your print on demand business. Maybe you just want to start being more consistent in your e-commerce business. Maybe you want to get rid of your inventory, because I can tell you right now, I got over 200 tubs and I would love to get rid of all my inventory. So maybe you want to stop dealing with physical products and you want to just deal with print on demand products. Whatever your reason for taking this course, you should establish a goal that is something that's going to measure your progress along this journey. Hopefully in every single one of the sessions, you'll actually do the exercises so that you have the opportunity to get your hands wet, get your hands dirty in this print on demand business. So that you have some hands-on experience and you can take it from there on your own. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's my objective, is for you to be able to take it from there. So some of the goals that you might establish might be process goals. Maybe you are going to work to commit 2 hours every single day to your print on demand business, or 1 hour every single day to your print on demand business. And so maybe you're going to establish some process goals. Okay. Maybe one of the goals that you're going to establish is going to be a performance goal where you want to have so many listings up. And so if that is you, if your goal is ultimately to get, 5 listings a day, 5 listings a day times 30 days is 150 listings. In 2 months, that's, 300 listings, and so on and so forth. So you probably have some goals that you want to establish. Maybe you want to hit a target of 1,000 print on demand products, or maybe you just want to focus 100% on a specific niche, a specific area, and you want to hit some goals there. But I want you to do today is think about what your goal is going to be during this class, and also when this class is over. Where do you want to go with your print on demand business so that you can set the intention, set the vision for what is the outcome you are looking for from this class. So the next goal, of course, is outcome goals. If you are looking to make a certain amount of money in your e-commerce business, whether it is print on demand or any other method, you're going to have to be consistent. So being consistent is going to be the key to making that kind of money. You also need to come up with something that is in demand, of course, and that people are interested in. Can you make money in print on demand without doing paid ads and paid marketing? Yeah, you can. You just want to pay attention to some of the specific niches and trends that come up. But again, something to think about. Establishing a measurable goal, something that is going to help keep you on track every single time. A measurable goal is something that you're working to reach. So I use the example of 1,000 listings in 6 months. If that is your goal, then you have to know how many you have to create every single month, every single week, and then every single day in order to hit your 1,000. So having something measurable or attainable is good. Having an accountability buddy that's going to check in on where you are on your measures is also good. So if any of you guys want to buddy up and become accountability partners, I encourage you to do so. The last one is SMART goals. I think this one is definitely the best goal to establish. It is something that is specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, relevant or realistic, timely or time-bound. So you have a target. Now, the 1,000 listings goal is a SMART goal because it is something that is specific. You want to create 1,000 listings. You can say, I want to create 1,000 listings pertaining to cats. If you're a cat person, I am not, but maybe that's your jam. So I want to create 1,000 cat listings. For me, it would be autism related. So I would like to create 1,000 autism related listings. So I'm going to be specific. Measurable, again, how many am I creating each day, each week to get to each day? How many am I doing each month? So each month I'd have to do 333. And some months, one month I have to do 334 in order to hit that. How much is that per week? I have to know what that number is. How many days in the week am I actually going to be working to hit that? So again, establishing some goals for what you want for your business, the vision you have for your business, so you can be reminded of that and stay focused on that throughout this amazing journey. So I would encourage you today, I know it doesn't say activity, but I'm going to encourage you to think about your goal for your print-on-demand business. Where do you want to go with your print-on-demand business? What do you want to happen with your print-on-demand business? If you're shooting to make a certain dollar amount, again, that may require you to work no less than an hour to 2 hours every single day in your print-on-demand business so that you can, have enough listings to be able to generate that type of revenue. So, and then also, what are the types of products you want to sell? We're going to be talking about the different types of products later. The next one is establishing a plan. So putting together a plan for your business, and I'm going to come back to plan in a little bit, but I think that putting together a plan for your business tied to a goal and being intentional are 3 key components because they're going to help you with, I think consistency is above all 3 of those, but they're going to help you to stay on track, to help redirect you, to help guide you on where you want to go and what you want to do in your business, whether you're doing all the work yourself, whether you're using AI, whether you're using a VA, it's going to help you along this journey. So I do encourage you to think about a plan, and I'm going to talk about the plan a little bit later, but it's something that you want to achieve. If this is something you want to grow into a brand or something much bigger than it is right now, because right now it's just a vision and a dream in your head. And so putting it on paper makes it more concrete and makes it something that is more relevant than taking that to the next step and actually building out a business plan for your business so that you are working towards an objective and a goal. Okay. If you have the eCom planner, there's a whole section on putting together a business plan, your goals, your strategies, all that's in there. So in the eCom planner, you can grab that and you'll be able to fill it in right there. Being intentional, this is looking at your day and what you do in a day, what you do in a week, whatever the case may be, and being intentional about the activities that you're doing when it comes to your e-commerce business. We should all be intentional about everything that we do. Every day I'm reminded that life is extremely short. Every single day I'm reminded that life is extremely short. And so you don't want to get to that last moment in your life and think about what it is you did or did not accomplish because of your ability to focus or not focus. So think about what it is that you want to do. What do you want to create? Where do you want this business to come? What problem does this business actually solve for you? And what problem do you think your business could solve for others? Or what kind of solution could your business put into the universe for others? So I want you to be intentional about the time that you invest in your print on demand business. I want you to be intentional about the niche that you choose, the domains, the brands, the colors. I want you to be intentional about every aspect of your business. And when you're intentional about it and you focused on it and you're committed to it and you study it, you will be rewarded. When you're random and haphazard and not intentional about anything, you will definitely be rewarded, but it is not the reward that you want. So be intentional about what you plan on doing in your business. All right. So setting your intentions, this, is from our annual planning session, and it is always relevant and it is always important. When it comes to setting your intention for your business and for your print on demand business and for your personal life, I kind of break this up into two different columns. The first column is all the personal stuff that is related to your personal life and your household and everything else. And what are the goals and the objectives that you want to reach? What are the intentional goals you want to reach for each quarter? Now, we're almost at the end of quarter 1 week away, but you have plenty of time to be intentional about what your goals and objectives will be for quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. You have plenty of time to reach those goals. In your business, your e-commerce business, there's so many pieces of your e-commerce business, but the great thing about print on demand is in the method in which we are teaching in this course, we're not touching physical product unless you want to. If you want to touch physical product, you can. My goal is not to touch any more product. So again, you're going to still have to do some things in your e-commerce business. There's going to be customer service related activities. And what are your intentions around that? There's going to be listing related activities, sourcing, shipping, marketing, things you have to learn, administrative tasks. All of that still comes with running a business. So these are the types of things that we want to make sure that we're paying attention to, that we're focused on, that we're consistent about. And when you're thinking about your goals for your business and for yourself, be intentional. Be intentional. Don't be random. Be specific. I want to create a $10,000 a month revenue e-commerce business. Okay. I want to create a $5,000 a month revenue generating e-commerce business. Okay. I want to create a recognizable brand for pet needs, pet products, pet whatever. Okay. Be intentional. I want to create a subscription box for XYZ. Be intentional. So I do want to encourage you, if you never participated in the annual planning session, go back and just listen to that. It's long, but it's worth it. And set your intentions for this journey that you're on right now when it comes to your print on demand business. We are doing this right before quarter 2. Hopefully this will impact your quarter 2, and whatever you learn, apply it immediately so that you can reap the rewards in quarter 3 and quarter 4. So we're going to, the goal is to get focused. As you're thinking about your e-commerce business as a whole, all the time, as a whole, let me scoop this up. I hate the little thing that's always the floaty that's in the way. Sorry, guys, I have to try and move it around. There we go. So the floaty that's always in the way. You're going to decide which e-commerce platforms you're going to be selling on. Maybe you're going to sell on your own store. Maybe you're going to sell on Amazon. And what is the thing that you need to learn about those e-commerce platforms? What is your method of e-commerce? We're talking about print on demand this whole time, but some of the things you may come up with are going to be tied to maybe creating a subscription. So there's going to be some form of a physical product associated with it. You're going to do a subscription box or a subscription bag, whatever the case may be. Your shipping strategy, since we're doing print on demand, our goal is to be 100% hands off. But again, if you decide long-term, bigger picture, you're going to build a brand that's going to have a subscription. You got to think about that kind of stuff. Sourcing strategy for 2023. Our goal, of course, is print on demand. And I don't know about the store closing because that was not supposed to be in here. And clearance, I love clearance. Let me just tell you, when I think about my bundles, I use clearance all the time. And so you can, if you're still one of those people that likes to go out and do physical sourcing, you can take advantage of physical products and bundle them together with your print-on-demand idea or concept. So I just want you to know that that is still a possibility. And maybe this is the year that you want to incorporate your business. Who knows? Only you know. So we're going to talk about getting realistic about putting together a schedule. In order for you to be successful on this journey, in order for you to be consistent on this journey and successful, you got to build some habits. You got to build a routine around your activities when it comes to your e-commerce business. So the first thing is to build a real work schedule. Build a schedule that is going to work based off of your life. For some of you, you can only work 30 minutes, 4 days a week in your print-on-demand business. And for others, maybe you can work 5 hours or 2 hours or whatever a day. You're going to figure out what you can work. But the first thing that you need to do is, in order to regain control of the time and where you're spending it, or to find the time to invest into your print-on-demand business, you need to build a schedule. Your schedule shows your commitment to your business. Your schedule becomes that obligation. If you had a 9 to 5 and you were working 9 to 5, your obligation time is when you're supposed to be at your job, right? Well, this print-on-demand business becomes your job. So this is your obligated time. This is sacred time. We don't let anything bleed into that time unless there's something major going on with your family or with your own health, something that cannot wait. So outside of that, we work really hard not to book doctor's appointments in that dedicated time. We work really hard not to book anything else during the time in which we're supposed to be working on our business. I'm going to tell you, in order to run a successful print-on-demand business, I personally feel like you need at least an hour every single day to develop designs, create designs. You can do 5 in an hour. You can create 5 listings in an hour. 5 listings in an hour is 12 minutes a listing. That is doing the design, and some of them are going to be so simplistic, you'll be like, wow. So you could create a design in 2 or 3 minutes, slap it onto a product, and literally be done with the listing in 12 minutes. Now, that's me and my crazy life and schedule. But you need a minimum of an hour just to work on listings, and you need another hour just to deal with the run over, and then to check to make sure your shipments are going out, check to see if you need to optimize your listings, check to answer any customer service questions or requests, all of that stuff. So I'm going to encourage you to carve out 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, 10-hour commitment to your print-on-demand business. If you can't do 2 hours, shoot to do at least an hour and a half, 5 days a week. If you commit to that, again, your business will reward you back. If you're intentional, you're focused and you're consistent, your business will reward you back. So you need to figure out where that time is going to come from. For some of you, it's going to be getting up an extra hour early or 2. For some of you, it's going to be working later. For some of you, it's going to be in the middle of the day because maybe you already work from home and you're going to do it. Maybe part of it, you're going to do an hour in the morning and an hour on your lunch hour. But you need to find that committed time, your obligated time, that sacred time that you're going to commit to your print-on-demand business. And I would go hard in the paint for at least 6 months. I would normally say 90 days. I'm just going to tell you, I normally say 90 days, but I think 6 months is when you're going to be like, oh yeah. And some of it is going to be fast, depending on what your niche is, and also depending on what you put out into the universe. But the key is for you to be consistent. So I also feel like all of us can do at least 5 designs. You can do 5 designs a week. That's fine. 5 designs a week. At the end of a year, that's 520 designs. That's okay. 5 designs a day. At the end of a week, that's 25 designs. At the end of a month, that's 100 designs. At the end of 6 months, that's 600 designs. So in a year, that's 1,200 designs versus 520 designs. You decide what your goal is going to be, but you need to put together a schedule. When you're going to work, what time, how much time are you going to invest in it? And so that way you have a routine that you're working to keep in place long-term after this course is over. So some of the things that I use, I know you guys have heard my phone go off, my alarms. Sometimes I forget what time my alarms are going to go off. But anyway, phone alarms, I set those all the time. You can set Google Calendar alerts. There's all kinds of ways in which you can work to keep yourself on task and on schedule. One of the other things that I do in addition to that is I have kitchen timers that I grab from the Dollar Tree. Kitchen timers are super easy. They're super fun because you can set different kitchen timers for different things. So maybe you just want to create your designs for, 30 minutes, and then you're going to give yourself another 30 minutes or an hour to create the listings. So again, I was talking to my VA earlier today, and I was like, look, these print-on-demand designs, like these designs that we're putting together, you can do them in multiple colors and you can put them on multiple products. And since you have the opportunity to do that, you literally could create 3 print-on-demand designs and put up 21 listings because you can put these on multiple products. That's the wonderful thing about print on demand. So I create 3 designs and put them on other stuff, but I got to have that committed time, that dedicated time that I am investing in creating the designs. So you need to put together a schedule, and you need to build something that is realistic, and you need to follow it for at least a week, tweak it after a week, and then try to follow it for at least the next 90 days. The activities that you're going to be engaged in when it comes to your print on demand business, the listing time, really in print on demand, it is about the creation of the design and then the listing. Shipping, you don't have a lot of shipping time, but you do need to check to make sure that your shipments have gone out, that there's nothing going on with your provider, all of that stuff. So you do need to make sure that that is a non-issue. The other thing is, there's not a lot of sourcing that you're doing for print on demand because you probably got a list of the print on demand vendors that you want to work with, but there is research. So the research part of it, because you can put your print on demand providers that you want to work with and the accounts that you created, you can put those in your eCom planner, or you can put them in a notebook. So you have those handy. But research is going to take you some time. Research is that keyword research. Research is titles. Research is what's the hot product, what's the hot color that everybody's looking for this in. That is what the research is. So I would encourage you to do that. I think you should invest, if you're going to do 10 hours a week, do no less than 30 minutes of learning every single week. Not every single day. I did not say every single day. I said 30 minutes a week. Because your goal is to learn something, then to immediately apply it. So if you learned how to create a Canva design, then you need to immediately continue creating Canva designs over and over and over and over and over again, not continue to learn and master Canva. That's not the goal. That's not the objective. The goal is to continue to get better at the thing that you are learning. Think of it like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, when he first started playing basketball, like when he first dribbled a ball, he was not good at all. He was not. But he continued to go outside and play in his front yard, in front of the garage, whatever. Every opportunity he got, he bounced the ball and he continued to work at it. He got better and better and better. Your goal is to get better and better at this. He didn't go sit down and watch another video on how to be a basketball player. He didn't go sit down and take another class on how to, get good at basketball. He didn't do all that. He didn't waste that time. He immediately worked. He continued to work on his game. He worked with his coaches, and then he continued to work on his game. He would dribble and shoot shots over and over and over and over and over again. Some of the designs you're going to put together are not going to be perfect when you first do it, and it's okay. So I just need you to work on putting together a schedule. So that is your assignment for you to actually put together some goals in your schedule. You need to write that down as something that you're going to pull together. So I did make a mock schedule. This is from one of my other classes, but the amount of time that I have listed here is not appropriate for print on demand at all. Like print on demand, I would encourage you to do the research at the beginning of the week, more realistic. Do research maybe for 2 hours. That's it. No more. so that you can decide what you're doing for the rest of the week. So if you're going to do this, maybe on Sunday, it's 2 hours worth of research. That's it. That's it. No more. Monday, it is all about creating the designs. So maybe Monday you create 5 designs and you create your listings, you put those up. Tuesday, you create 5 designs, you create your listings, you put those up. Wednesday, you do the same thing. Thursday, you do the same thing. Friday, you take the existing designs that you created on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you change the colors on them. Maybe you change the type of product that you put them on, and you put those up on Friday. That way you don't have to create new products. Saturday, you do the same thing. So you're really only creating, in the example schedule that I'm talking through right now, you're only creating products or creating designs Monday through Thursday. You're spending Friday revamping the designs you did Monday through Thursday, and Saturday you're doing the same thing. You're just putting on different products. When I say different products, put it on a coffee mug instead of a t-shirt. Put it on a tote bag instead of wall art. Again. So then you still get your number of listings up and you still reach your goals. So I want you to put together a schedule. I love Google Calendar. If you've ever seen my calendar, it is ridiculously insane. It's multicolored. I have a lot of different colors. The colors mean different things to me. Typically, when I am doing something in green, it is an income producing or income generating or income retaining activity. So that's the significance of green for me. And so this is an old one, probably from 2 years ago. But the point is, I have all the blocks that I need to run a business. It's just for print on demand. I do a little less of some of the big blocks that you see here, like shipping. I don't need that. You just probably need about 15 to 30 minutes, 15 minutes when it comes to print on demand. That would be the amount of time if you're going to work 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, or 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because I did just mention in the example, 2 hours on Sunday to do research, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, create new designs, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, take the existing designs, revamp them. Saturday, put those designs on some other product. So you're doing 7 days a week in the example I just talked through. So create yourself a schedule. Google Calendar works for me, and I like it. I can set up notifications. I can set up recurring and make it work for me. All right. The next thing we're going to get into, before we go into copyright, I am going to allow you guys, let's talk about what questions you have. So I'm going to unmute for just a second. And let's talk about what questions you have about anything that I just talked about. You can unmute and ask your question. I think I unmuted everybody. Yeah, I did. Okay. So any questions about at the beginning, setting your goals, setting your schedule, any of that? You can type it in the chat, type it in the comments. Let me just make sure that comments are enabled for everybody. Post everyone. Okay, I think chat is open for everyone. Okay, I'm going to assume there's no questions, so I'll keep going. Let's get into it. Copyright, trademark, and branding. So the first part is copyright. Copyright is, we're going to get into what it is in a little more detail. So copywriting is one of the things that you want to be mindful of when it comes to print on demand. Trademark is more important if you have a brand. Now, it is important when it comes to print on demand because some of the things that you may want to do designs for may be trademarked and you don't want to get yourself in trouble. So I just want to say that. And then branding is if you plan on taking this print on demand business to the next level. If you plan on doing something amazing with your print on demand business, then you probably want to think about a brand for yourself. You also want to be aware of some of the brands that already exist. So we're going to get into that. The first part is the copywriting. So copywriting is your, the public record of your intellectual property. It's the work that you create. And so the work that you create can be in many different forms. When you think about screenplays, those are copyrighted. When you think about music and the lyrics, that's copyrighted. So anytime somebody uses it, they get in trouble for that. When you think about different designs, there's probably, or not just designs, but text of specific things, it's copyrighted. So you don't want to get yourself in trouble if there's something that is copyrighted. There's a proven ownership, the person who owns that particular thing. Now, if it's something that's out in the public, so I'm going to use an example of the Bible. Use of the Bible is so many different places. People do scripture cards. They put scriptures on shirts. They create their own devotionals that have scriptures in them. So that is a book that is not copyrighted in the same way that if you were to take the Game of Thrones book and try to do something with that. If you were trying to take quotes out of there, if you wanted to claim that as your own and make money off of the fact that you're the author of Game of Thrones, that would never work. None of us will be claimed to be the author of the Bible. That's just #facts. But there are quotes that are used all the time. You see them in wall art, you see them on clothes, you see them in everything. And so the Bible is one of those things that is out in the public domain and can be referenced many different times, and you do not have to worry about in major form copyright. Okay, you can't rewrite the entire Bible yourself and, again, claim it and then try to stop other people from using anything that's in there. You can't do that. But again, copyright is, again, most of the time it's going to be text, but there's images that you will hear about. So the intellectual property that someone owns from a legal standpoint is what is copyrighted. And you do not want to get yourself in trouble when it comes to some of these designs. The first thing I will say is assume that everything is copyrighted. Somebody wants to say something, or do I need to? Hello? Yeah, okay, I'm going to mute. All right. So the first thing I would encourage you to do is assume that anything and everything that you're looking at may be copyrighted. You're going to have to do a little bit of research, a little bit of digging, a little bit of using the Google to confirm and validate that it doesn't have a copyright on it so that you can use it. There's a lot of stuff that's not copyrighted. Okay. The next are, here's some examples, sorry. So as I mentioned before, novels, short stories, poetry, like I can't claim a poem that was written by Maya Angelou as mine. I can't claim that. That is copyrighted, it's intellectual property. The owner of it, the creator of it is Maya Angelou. It is registered as copywritten, so it's not mine. Okay. Music, as I said before, art, paintings, sculptures, films, scripts from films, things like that. Software, again, code that is in software, such as huge intellectual property, so many lawsuits and so many things that go to the Supreme Court regarding copyright when it comes to software. But all of those things are things that have to be researched so you don't get yourself legally into trouble. Okay. And I'm going to tell you on Etsy, there's been a lot of people that have been getting into trouble with Disney because they are using Disney likeness. They're using the mouse ears. Well, you want to go see if that stuff is copywritten, if it's copyrighted, or if it is trademarked. If it is, you can't use it. If you decide to use it and you get away with it for a minute, okay. But at some point, it will catch up with you. And you do not have deep pockets to deal with Disney's lawyers because they will take everything you got. So just don't put yourself in that position because you're not making that kind of money. You don't have that kind of bag. Since you don't get yourself in trouble. The next is trademark. So trademarks are common with brands. So I'm going to give you an example of Nike. Nike has the swoosh. The swoosh is trademarked. The name Nike is trademarked. The font that they're using for the Nike is trademarked. The color for the Nike is trademarked. So Nike uses a lot of black and white. The swoosh is normally white. The Nike is white. Sometimes depending on what it's on, it might be black, blah, blah, blah. If it's got a white background, like Nike has trademarked the snot out of a whole bunch of stuff. So trademark is more expansive than copyright, although both of them are, you can legally be sued for both of them. Okay. So like I said before, the swoosh is it is the logo, and it is part of what Nike is known for, Coca-Cola, and how Coca-Cola, the words are written, and the fact that it is in red and white. It has that little R on it for register, but it also is trademarked. So you can't put the Coca-Cola on anything. Red background, white letters using that form of cursive or the block version of it, it is all trademarked. Okay. So the logo, the likeness, the words, all of that is trademarked. For us, eCom sellers, so we are trademarked. eCom sellers is trademarked, and anything that we use, whether it's eCom sellers academy, eCom sellers summit, ecom, all of it, eCom sellers, we're all trademarked for that. And then we have copyright on a lot of the products that we put. Not 100% of the stuff that we put in our book can be copyrighted. So I'll give you an example. If we're doing a definition of what is print on demand, well, I can't copyright the definition of what is print on demand. I can't copyright that. But if I'm giving you explicit instructions and steps that are unique to eCom sellers in some form, I can copyright that. So there's pieces of our work that is not copyrightable, and there are pieces of our work that is 100% copyrightable. Same thing with what you do. There may be things that are fairly common, like, you know, something is out of the dictionary, a definition for something, you can't copyright that. Like, it's already been defined, so you can't copyright it. But you can if you're using it in context with something that you're putting together, whether it's a blueprint, a guide, or whatever. So think about that if you're going to do printable, downloadable digital products, think about your trademark, and also think about your copyright. Okay. So trademark examples: McDonald's, Nike, Target, you know, there's the logos, and then there's the words and the way they write the words. Like, look at LG. So LG is got the block L and G, but they also have that, whatever that magenta color is with the half circle. It's a G and an L, but it just doesn't naturally look like it. Okay. L'Oreal, KFC, McDonald's, like the red block with the yellow M in the middle is trademarked. All of those things are trademarked. So you don't want to get yourself in trouble. Disney is right now one of the most common ones that I see on Etsy, or that I hear about on a regular basis, that they're coming for you. They're coming for you. So just don't get yourself in trouble. It's not worth it. You don't have that kind of money. You don't want to lose your house. Okay. So one of the activities is I have given you 9,000 links when it comes to looking at and better understanding trademark, and also better understanding copyright. So I'm going to copy all of these. They'll also be in your back office. I'm just going to go ahead and put them into the chat. You're more than welcome to grab them. Start looking at some of this yourself. There's a lot of different links in there, multiple links. So the first couple of links that are in there are about copywriting in a book. So if you plan on writing maybe an ebook later, or putting out some content that is more than a few pages long, then you may want to look into copywriting the content of your book. You just want to make sure that you can. I won't say 100% of all of it can be copywritten, but there will be pieces of it that probably can, depending on whether or not it is unique to you. The next thing is, and with AI complicates some of this, because AI is getting the information from the universe. And what I mean by that is, you'll see, if you just do a Google search on how to sell on Amazon, you'll see however many blogs about selling on Amazon. And then somebody will want to publish a book about selling on Amazon. Well, okay, there's already 9,000 blogs out there about selling on Amazon. So what is it that's in your book that makes anything else that's already out in the universe different and negates it, so that you can copyright? Like, there's going to be pieces of your book that it wouldn't hold up in a court of law, even if you did get a copyright, because it's everywhere out there in every single blog. So you want to make sure that there's a level of uniqueness, and or if your intellectual property is your name, then again, that is your uniqueness. So you can do that. So look at the articles if you're interested in doing a book or anything like that. Canva, there's 2 articles here that I think are very helpful around intellectual property, so you don't get yourself in trouble, and Canva licensing. I would definitely, they actually put together a video. And so I would watch the video that's on the licensing explained page so that you are clear on how you use Canva if you choose to use Canva. There's so many different answers floating out in the universe. And so for me, I just like to contact the suppliers just to make sure that what I asked and my understanding of their response to me is sufficient for me to move forward with the work that I'm going to be doing. Okay. So I would encourage you, I could give you the answers that they give me, but again, when you go before the judge, if you ever went before the judge, it's what I explained to you and you're doing your own research, you would have, your lawyer's going to tell you should have did your own research. So I'm just going to tell you. And then Printify also has a whole article about copyright and trademark and all of that, which I thought was very helpful. So go take a look at that. The masterclass people put together a great one on copyright. And then there are some other blogs that are out there in the universe about trademark. So HubSpot had its own trademark. LegalZoom has a trademark, which they're a legal website. So I kind of like LegalZooms. I thought it was pretty straightforward. And then Forbes also has one about trademarks. So feel free to go through those, review them so that you have a comfort level of what you believe you can and cannot do. Now, for the purposes of this class, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to point out some of the things when we get into the Canva exercises, and I'm going to tell you how I use it and my understanding. But again, you want to make sure you get clarification of your own understanding, because I'm not going before the judge. If you get called in for something, you're going before the judge. So you need to make sure you understand. That's really what matters. Okay. All right. So the next thing is, before we get into working on our brand, like we talked about what some of the brands are, we talked about copyright and trademark. I did say we're going to come back to this plan. I would encourage you, if you think this is something that you want to build to make it something bigger, you want to have your own brand, your own branded products, your own whatever theme, then I would encourage you to, as part of your journey of putting together your brand, to put together a business plan. A business plan normally exists and consists of an executive summary and then a description of your company, some level of market analysis, because again, you're going to decide what niche you want to go into. You want to decide which platforms you want to sell on. And so where your focus and your energy is going to go. Maybe you want to focus on baby, maybe you want to focus on pets, maybe you want to focus on household goods, maybe you want to focus on sporting. You're going to focus on a specific thing when it comes to print on demand. Or you may just be random and say, you know what, I'm going to do a variety of different things on t-shirts, and that's all I'm going to do. Your call, ultimately, at the end of the day. But if it's something that you think you want to build to make much bigger, putting together a business plan will help you in a couple of different ways. One, if you're a minority and you're female, well, okay, first, minorities and females are, there's an opportunity there, especially with SBA loans and grants and things like that. Women, there's a lot of grants out there. So if you're looking to make this much bigger than what it is going to start off to be, then having a business plan that you can present is going to help you be able to potentially get those funding dollars. So I would encourage you at some point, you want to do a subscription box situation like Dallas Gordon did. And she did apply for grants and loans. She's talked about the grants that she applied for, putting her business out there, establishing a brand. So she worked at that. And so putting together something like that, you need to have a business plan. I encourage you, as part of this journey, to think about your business plan for your business if you want to grow this out to be something more. Because I would hope that you're not just going to do this print on demand thing, and I did it for about a year and then I'm done with it. No, if this is going to be a long-term solution for you, build a legacy and something that you can leave behind for your family or your kids, or something that can grow and become so much more than what you initially envisioned. So that's all I'm going to say is I encourage you to put together a business plan. It is optional. It's not required. So branding, why do we need branding? Why does it matter? You know, you've got Apple, which is easily recognizable because it's an apple with a piece out of it. So you got all of those. Before it was Apple, for me, it was Mac. I don't know if any of you remember the Macintoshes and the big cubed Macintosh back in the day. It was a big giant rectangle cube. And yeah, it was Macintosh. So then they had the Mac laptops, and then everything just became Apple. Apple phones, Apple this, Apple that. But it's a recognizable brand and people know it. It's recognizable because of its logo. It's recognizable because of the words. It's recognizable because of its products. So again, if you're wanting to build something and leave a legacy, part of that journey is putting together, building a brand. Coca-Cola is the same. They're also known for what they do in the community. Apple's also known for what they do in the schools. And then Starbucks, again, very recognizable. Although the first time I saw the Starbucks icon, I had to look at it twice. And it has evolved over the years. I don't know if any of you paid attention to what the old logo looked like and what it looks like now, but it has evolved a little bit. But what they are known for, and they do have a recognizable logo. So one of the things, there's a whole theme here, is that their logo, sometimes the logo is their words, and sometimes the logo is an icon of some type. So for us with eCom sellers, like eCom sellers, we were specifically in the two colors, eCom and then sellers, orange and blue, blue and orange, and we use a specific font. And so that is our logo. It is also our brand. So anytime that we do anything, when you see that orange and blue, blue and orange together in that font, and they're close together, typed like that, it's recognizable over time. We're not recognizable like Nike or Apple, but over time, depending on what we do and what we put out into the universe, we will become more and more recognizable if we continue to grow our brand. So if you intend to do something with your brand, you definitely want to work on growing it. The thing is, long-term, bigger picture, your brand can become an asset for you. Your brand can help with your name recognition. Your brand can help with wherever you want this print-on-demand business to go. So I would encourage you, you can have customers that are loyal to your brand. There are people who love a specific type of t-shirt. I remember the first time, I don't even remember the name of the brand of the t-shirt. I'm just going to tell you, I remember the characteristics of the t-shirt, but not the name brand. There's a t-shirt commercial that they talk about how the t-shirt it fits on the body perfectly, whereas some of the other t-shirts are misshaped and they fall off and all this other stuff. I can't remember it. I saw the commercial, but I won't forget the fact that there is a t-shirt out there in the universe that fits perfectly on almost every body shape. And it doesn't drape, it doesn't just hang off, and it doesn't have the wrinkled neck and all of that other stuff. The arms aren't real flabby, like it actually fits the body really well compared to any other t-shirt. So when I remember the brand, I'll tell you what it is. But again, something that's recognizable and memorable. So you need to think about if this is something you want to do. I've given you enough information as a starting point so that you can begin the process of building a brand. If you're going to build a brand, I want you to think about your domains. If I would encourage you to create a short domain, think about what the domain is long-term. Something that rolls off the tongue, it's easily memorable. Maybe a domain that has your niche in it. So we chose eCom for a reason. Even though we don't spell eCom, E-C-O-M-M, which I think was probably a mistake on my part, but that's okay. Because a lot of people would spell it with two M's, but we just E-C-O-M. That's what we did. And then sellers, like we used two keywords. These are sellers or resellers, and they do e-commerce. So I was like, yeah, put those two together. That's our brand. And that was really how I came up with it. But anyway, so think about the niche that you're going to be in. If you're going to be selling baby stuff or pet supplies, or you're going to be selling, like I said, sports or whatever, think about the niche and whether or not you can use a keyword, something that's short, memorable. If it's a complicated name, people are not going to remember that. It's not going to roll off the tongue. Coca-Cola is easy to remember. Nike is short and to the point. Apple is short and to the point. Pay attention to what others before you have done that are successful. There is not a name that's out there that is a long name that is memorable. Like you could say Universal Studios, maybe, but it's really when people say Universal, you automatically think the word studios in the back of your mind. You don't have to say Universal Studios together. You can just say Universal. Everybody's like, oh, the theme park? Like it immediately comes to mind. So think about something short if you're going to go after branding and a niche or the name. So you can reduce confusion. Go do some research to see if there's a similar name out there. If there's a similar name out there, then do what you can not to drive traffic to that similar name. So one of the things that I did was I started the eCom Seller Summit, and there was already a Sellers Summit out there. And so I don't know that I stole any traffic from him or he stole any traffic from me, but Sellers Summit has been around longer than eCom Seller Summit. And so I was like, okay, there's probably a mistake, because I made a mistake of not really going out there to double check to see if there was already a name that was similar. I don't know if you guys know about that. So go check to see if there's another one that's similar. Don't choose a domain that's got dashes in it or commas or spaces. Like we didn't do e-com, we did eCom. No e-dash, none of that. So don't put dashes in it. Don't put any other special characters. If you're going to start with the number, make sure it makes sense to start with that number. So an example of a number for a domain is 23andMe. They started with 23 chromosomes and me, 23andMe. So that's one where there's a number first, and then there is the words. Now I will tell you, if you get a domain that starts with a number, it will rank on the first page because number domains by default come up first in the Google searches. But will people remember your number? What's the relevance of your number? So like you can't do a domain called 911 because you don't own 911. So you might can include the numbers 911 in it, but you might get in trouble. And then if you ever tried to create a domain, like if you're using GoDaddy domains and you tried to create a domain with Amazon in it, trust me, we already did that. Amazon Pays My Bills was our domain. Well, it still is our domain, but we can't use it because everywhere we try to use it, they take it down, including Facebook. So we have a Facebook group called Amazon Pays My Bills. But again, that's what happens when you are using a trademark name. They will not let you do Walmart. They will not let you do eBay. And if they do, the domain provider may take your domain down. So just don't even save yourself the stress of doing something like that. Go do some research, figure out if it's trademarked or not, if you can be used. If it can't be used, don't use the domain. It's just a lesson learned. So I have some URLs here for you all. And yes, we did go through all those things. Those are real stories. I was like, why is our stuff coming down? Facebook took that down. Well, why did they take it down? Yeah, it was very funny. Not really. We were very upset. So lesson learned on this journey. Okay, so there you go. Some more links to investigate further and do some checking if you plan on building out a brand. Now, talking about building out a brand right now may be premature for you because, again, you haven't figured out what it is you want to do from a print-on-demand business standpoint. So this all may be way too premature, but at least you have this information. The next one is thinking about your logos and your colors. Again, think about Nike, think about Apple, think about Facebook, think about their colors. They have a specific color and the color means something. So there's a couple of videos I highly recommend when it comes to color psychology and what to do. We have some YouTube videos that I encourage you to check out, and they have everything to do with color psychology, what the colors mean, so you can decide what you want to do. So like red means a specific thing. Coca-Cola uses red. It's attention grabbing, it's bright. Yellow means a specific thing. Blue means a specific thing. And so I was intentional about the colors that we chose. Ironically, Chris Record had similar colors. He was blue and orange. He still has blue and orange out there in the universe, but I chose blue and orange for a reason. So you can see like orange means friendly, cheerful, confident. Sorry. And it also means strength. The blue means strength. And it also means dependable and trust. That is what blue represents for some people from an emotional, psychological standpoint. So as you're thinking about your brand, not necessarily your products, the color of your products, but your brand. So I think about autism, and in autism, we use the puzzle pieces, and there are many different colors. You got yellow puzzle pieces, orange, red, blue, green, you got all the colors. So it's not necessarily, if I wanted to put out autism themed products, I'm not necessarily just going to focus on one color, because the autism spectrum has many different colors. So that's the reason why there's many different levels. So it's the reason why there's many different colors. But my brand, Voyage into Autism, is a specific color. And so that is a specific color. The products that are under that brand are multicolored, multifaceted, multi-everything. But the brand itself and the logo is a specific color, just like Nike. Nike makes things in many different colors, many different designs, many different everything else. But the logo is the same everywhere. So think of it that way. Okay, so I put those into the chat for you. The next thing is, if you decide you're going to build a brand, then definitely, go and get your intellectual property. I have got to get back here. Sorry. So this little thing is in the way. I hate it when it's in the way. I can't get to anything. If you are thinking about building a brand, make sure you go get your social media real estate. Go get your social media real estate. The reason that matters is because, again, if you're building a brand, you don't want people to have to go look for XYZ dash whatever, because somebody else has the Facebook page and has the TikTok page and has the YouTube channel and has the whatever. You want to own whatever it is that you have. So everywhere eCom Sellers is, we have it on every platform, like Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. Like, you won't find another eCom Sellers out there. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. The one I forgot to put in here was TikTok, but again, I'm sure that you're thinking of that. So go through and make sure that you get those domains if you decide, or the name on all of those platforms. You can get it and park it and then release it later, but get it and park it. Don't use it. It doesn't have to go live. You can just go create the page and then just keep it inactive. Create the Facebook page, go create the Instagram page and keep it inactive. If you think you have a brand, and some of you have a brand and an idea, so definitely go do that. So let me see if I have added, yeah, I did do name checker. Okay, so go check and see if the social media is available for that specific brand. And if it is, go create the page and park it. All right. Any questions about branding before I move on to the next thing? I know I covered a lot. I put a lot of stuff in the chat. I think you're all unmuted. I think you are. Let me just double check, make sure everybody's unmuted, and you are. Okay, so, all right, I'm going to move on. Okay, the next is we're going to get into talking about, just briefly, about what this class is all about. So we're going to be creating in every classes 3, 4 sessions, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 6 sessions we're creating products. I don't know if you ever taken a class where in 6 sessions you're actually creating products. We're creating products in six sessions. I can't even say it. And actually, technically, we're going to create it in a 7th session, which is going to be the AI class, which is session 11. So want to make sure that we're all on the same page about the sessions. How can I copy and paste what is in the chat window? You should just be able to grab it, and you should be able to just select all from the chat. Just select all from the chat window. This is also going to be in your back office, so also be in your back office, so you'll have it as well. I hope that helps. Okay, so the first one is printables. Printables, downloadables, digital products. Printables are things that like people will go to Etsy and maybe they want to be able to print out blank sheets for doctor's appointments. Like maybe you're taking care of a senior. Maybe it's your mom or your dad. And so you want to leave a sheet for the nurses that are coming. They got a notebook that has, here's the list of the meds. Here's the list of the doctors. Here's when they got to take their meds. You know, if there's anything that happens, this is the emergency number. So it's a printable sheet that, and maybe it's a sign in and sign out sheet for the nurses, who knows, but there are pieces of paper that people can design, and they design them in different tools, and once they design them, they can put them out on Etsy and some of the other platforms, and if someone is interested in buying it, they go to that website, buy it, download it, and print it. Okay, so printables and downloadables are pretty much the same thing. It is downloading a something. Now, some of the downloadables can be digital products so that they are editable online. An example might be a fill-in form. So you may create a form in Canva, drop it into Adobe so that you can fields editable and people can type into the open fields and then they can save that document online. There are other downloadables, like for homeschool parents, they will have downloadable sheets or printable sheets. So kids can do activities, maybe, you know, for younger kids, they cut out flashcards and, or they print those flashcards on, you know, cardboard paper, not really cardboard paper, but the thicker, heavier weight paper. And then they cut those out so that they can use those flashcards for ABCs and 1, 2, 3s or different colors. Whereas digital products, again, most of the time they're going to be something that can be filled in or typed into and stored. So you can take advantage of like a digital planner where you can download it to your iPad or your Kindle or your Surface Pad or whatever. You can open it up if you have the right apps like Evernote and I'm trying to think of all of them, but you can open them up and be able to document what's happening in your day in that planner. But it's not a paper planner. It's something that is online. It's digital. It's available on your Apple, your Mac, or whatever. So those are digital products. You also have digital products that are like courses. This is a course. It's considered, as far as the legal terms are concerned, a digital product. And so it's not something that you're going to physically get a thing from. So a physical product is like buying a pair of socks or shoes or whatever. Whereas a digital product is something that's more electronic and you're not going to have something potentially tangible. You may use it to create something, but it's not anything that's like a physical, like we're not sending you a book or anything from this class. So those are the types of products if you want to do printables, digitals, and downloadables. Some examples are, as I said before, flashcards are always a good one. Greeting cards, gift tags, wedding invitations, party decorations, stickers, and labels. I'm sure a lot of you have seen stickers. Now, stickers can also be a physical product because sometimes people will buy the design and then they have the stuff to print the sticker on, so it becomes sticky, you know, it has a sticky back to it, versus using a print-on-demand supplier that actually does stickers, and all you have to do is just upload your design. So stickers are sometimes subjective, but labels, you know, you can use labels to label stuff in your kitchen, label stuff in your closet, whatever. People will buy labels, calendars, planners, worksheets, educational sources, coloring books, workbooks. These are all work coloring pages, sorry, and bookmarks. These are all examples of printables or things that can be downloaded. So I know people who make a lot of money doing coloring books. And so they start off doing coloring pages. And then from there, they created enough coloring pages to create their own coloring book. And then from there, they sold the coloring book. So this could be an evolution for you. It doesn't have to start off with a specific thing. If you're a person that likes doing Scrabble or word puzzles or whatever, again, you can start off with a couple of word sheets. And then from there, expand that into making it into a book, because you have enough of them now to produce a book. So you can start off slow by doing printables. And if you have an idea right now, today in class, in your notebook right now, write down what it is you want to do that's a printable or a downloadable? Think about it right now and write it right now so that way when we go into class 3 and class 4, you already have an idea, a couple of ideas of things that you want to create, because we want to get you creating. So digital products, you can do ebooks, music downloads, which we're not creating any music downloads in this class. You can though, you can, and people will buy, and that's not always on Etsy. There's other platforms where you would sell your music downloads, but digital courses, stock photos. If you're a person that takes a lot of pictures, like you can sell your photos online, just so you know that. Digital art, digital planners. We talked about digital planners before. Software. If you're that kind of person that's good at creating software and knows how to do it, I say go for it. And apps, definitely an opportunity. So again, digital products, we're going to keep it simple, and we're not going to create anything that's terribly complex. So we're going to stick with printables and downloadables, and we will save some of the digital products. I will show you how you can convert something to a digital product if you want to make it editable and people can use it on their if they could want to use it on their Apple products. The next is your physical products. These are products where you're using a print-on-demand supplier or vendor to, after you've created an amazing design, you're superimposing that design onto a product, whether it be t-shirt, socks, hat, jacket, backpack, phone case cover, any of that stuff. So examples, I mentioned a bunch of stuff. Stationery is one, calendar is one, but photo books, you could definitely do photo books. Coffee mugs, phone cases, more t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, leggings, tennis shoes, jewelry. So all of those are more examples of physical products. So in this example, there's these stickers of the sheep on the wall. Okay, so somebody made that, and so people can buy that and stick it on their wall. You got coffee mugs, and you see in this example, this is where I was talking about create one design and put it on multiple things. So here's stay here, and then there's a tote bag, and then there's a water bottle, and then there's a hat. And so that stay is on all of those. You've got these tote bags, hats, t-shirts, you've got a wall art, posters, phone case cover. So again, just so many different products. These are not all of them, but there's a lot of opportunity to create your print-on-demand design and put it on multiple things. So in this example, it's one design with 4 different products. You could do one design and have 10 different products. Okay, I love it. So I want you to be thinking about if there's something specific that you really want to dabble in when it comes to print-on-demand products that you want to test with. Maybe you want to stick with phone case covers. Maybe you want to stick with socks. Maybe you want to do wrapping paper. Like, I don't know what you want to do. So write down some ideas right now in your notebook of what you think you want to do so we can come back to it. The last one is book products. So we talked about ebooks. We also have low content books, like lined paper books. It's just lined papers. Some of them are just blank. So all someone did is just create a cover, and then it's a book with a bunch of blank pages. There's nothing on the inside, like not even lines or frames. Yeah, those are low content books. You can also do coloring books, photo books, like I said, puzzle books, education, workbooks. You can do all of those, or you can write a novel. Maybe there are some of you that have been wanting to write a book for years and you've just never done it. And it's one of the things that's been on your mind. So this is your opportunity to get going. Maybe some of you have recipes from your family. I remember in the print-on-demand class we did before last summer, one of our attendees, they had all these recipes from their family. And so they were all kept like in a specific thing. And they want to convert all of those recipes into an actual book. That's a great way to maintain like those recipes and to keep them in the family and to keep the heritage. And now it becomes a book that you can hand down from generation to generation, or it becomes a book that you can sell and it goes to the family. Like, something to think about. Some of you have some unique stories, some unique backstories. And so putting it into a book might be a great way to preserve it. It also may be a great way to share it and profit from it. So high content books, low content books. There's so many different examples: paperbacks, hardcover, ebooks, photo books, children's books, cookbooks, poetry. So again, think about that. So this is an activity book, but these are, start off as printables. And then from printables, they become, you can put them into an actual book as activities for people to do. Okay. So here's more books. Again, just books. So what I want you all to do is, number one, at the beginning, I was talking about your schedule. I really want you to think about what your goals are going to be. Long-term, bigger picture. It's not on this page, but I want you to think about your goals, and I want you to write down a couple of things. If nothing else, write down one thing, but shoot for 3. Write down 3 things that you want to get out of this course, and also that you want to, implement or accomplish for yourself with your print-on-demand business. Number 2, I want you to create a real schedule. I really want you to create a real schedule for yourself. Number 3, I do want you to do some research and do some review on copyright, trademark, and branding. Again, taking a deeper dive into what they say legally. And I'm going to stop for a second and we'll look at a couple of them. And then number 4, I want you to think about, you don't have to do it, but I want you to think about a brand for yourself. I want you to think about, if this is what you want to do, or if you're like, you know what, I'll do it in a year after I've been consistent, maybe I will convert this into a brand. That's fine. If you have an idea of what you want the brand to be and the brand name to be, then go park the social media, go park the domain, and then come back to it next year. Give yourself a timeline. So an example of a timeline is if you go ahead and buy your domain today, and then you don't want to renew it, you give yourself 1 year to get it live. Otherwise, you can't renew it. So you can give yourself a monetary timeline that forces you to take action before it renews. So if you got it up and live, then you go ahead and renew. But if you don't have it up and running, then you can't renew. So you can set yourself up with a crazy plan like that. And last but not least, I do want you to write down one thing under printables or downloadables that you want to do or create, one that you have an idea, maybe that you're interested in. Okay, that you're interested in. Write down one thing under physical products that you're interested in. And then that includes a niche. And then the last thing is write down something around books that you're interested in. So then that way we're not starting with a blank slate when we get ready to start creating these products. Okay. So with that, I'm going to open up the floor. And if you want to unmute yourself and ask questions, you definitely can. I'm going to go ahead and pull up some of the intellectual property stuff so that we are all on the same page as to what the platforms say about the intellectual property. So go ahead, unmute yourself and ask the questions. The floor is yours. All right. If you want to talk, I think everybody's unmuted, so you can talk at any point. So Printify, I think out of all of them, really did a decent job with breaking down, how to avoid, but they went through intellectual property and they talk about what intellectual property is. They talked about copyright law and public domain and fair use, which is going to be the one thing that you want to make sure some of the designs, if you decide to buy designs from someone else to put onto your print-on-demand products, that you understand what the fair use is. And then how to avoid it, what is intellectual property. They kind of go through that, and then copyright laws versus public. And the first thing that they do say is like, just assume that everything is copyrighted, how to find a copyright owner, and then some tips on avoiding. So the first thing they say is just assume that all work is copyrighted and start from there. And then getting permission and sharing and selling other people's work. If you decide you're going to buy domains from other people, you want to be mindful of that, selling other people's work. So let me just pull up. I go to Etsy. So we were doing some research because Autism Awareness Month is next 2 weeks, or a week and a half, really. So World Autism Day is on April the 2nd, and Autism Awareness is April the 1st. So there were a couple of autism design. Some people did some really great artwork. And you'll notice that they indicate, I'm going to try to find one. Where was the one that here she is? I think this is her. So she had some really great artwork. Like I just fell in love with this design right here. Just gorgeous. I love this design right here. Okay. So I was in love with it. And I was like, oh, if we buy this bundle, because look at the bundle. It is like dirt cheap because it's something she can sell over and over and over and over and over again. Or he, it could be a he. So when you come down, they have the rules on whether or not you can sell this design. And it says, this is a digital file, not a physical item, and a physical file will not be sent to you. And they continue to go on about whether or not you can or cannot use it. So hold on. Under no circumstances are you allowed to reformat this design of any part into embroidery. So they're telling you can't use it for embroidery. It says you are welcome to use the design only for personal items. No mass production allowed. You may not upload this file to any print-on-demand sites as such, but not limited to Cafe Express, Zazzle, Amazon Merch, Printful. I do not allow my designs to be sold or transferred. So basically, she has some great designs, or he, and they're saying you are not allowed to take any of these designs and put them on any product. So what we had to do was we created our own versions of these, not exactly like theirs, but inspired by theirs. And we came up with our own products. It was a lot of work to create our own products. We didn't get this one. Man, I really wanted to do that one. But again, you just need to know whether or not you can or cannot use it. So that's the reason why I want to encourage you really as part of your homework. You had a lot of homework this week. It's just whether or not you're going to do it. Okay. I really need you to do it because you need to understand what you're allowed to do. I could explain it to you, but if I explain it to you, you say, well, you know what? She told me and then that's not going to hold up in a court of law. They're going to ask, did you read it for yourself? Did you ask any questions for yourself? So there are print-on-demand designs out there that are available for use, but some of them, again, you need to know whether or not you can use them on your products or whether or not you cannot use them on your products. And this person clearly is telling you, you can't sell this in mass form of any type. If you want to create your own products for your own self, personal use, you're more than welcome to buy my designs. But if you're going to put them on other products to mass produce, you're not allowed to buy my designs to do that. And you can put that in your listings. Will everybody abide by it and respect it? No. But if she's got any level of copyright that's been filed, or he, I don't know if they're he or she, if they've got any level of copyright that they have established, and copyright is less expensive than doing a trademark, I can tell you that right now, I've done it. Then if anybody uses it, she can legally go after them, or he. I don't know if it's a she or he. Okay, so go and read the copyright and whether or not some of the stuff that you want to use as designs can be used or whether or not you have to create your own versions. Okay. I don't know if that helps you or not, but definitely look at all the links. So I feel like Printify is a really good inclusive kind of outline. And they do a pretty good job of kind of making it plain English. So you can definitely look at that. You can also go over to LegalZoom. I think LegalZoom does a decent job on copyright, trademark, what is registered, what does all of that mean, so that you can read it for yourself, have some level of understanding so you can move forward in the class without any challenges. Okay. And just know that in AI, like you're creating your own thing, which I'm just so excited. You don't have to worry about any of that. You can use AI tools to create your print-on-demand design. So yeah. All right. Any questions? I know I covered a lot. We had to get all the legal stuff out the way. Okay. With that, I hope that you'll go through it. I'm going to recap and real quick. Your first assignment is to go ahead and establish some goals, at least one at a minimum, if not three. 3 is good. for the class and for yourself personally and for your business. Number 2, build a schedule. Number 3, go through and do some research and reviewing on copyright, trademark. Number 4, decide whether or not you're going to do some level of branding. If you are, maybe go get the domains and park them. Maybe go get the social media pages and park them just in case. Maybe you have 3 different options, and so you just park all of those. It's not going to cost you any money to park your social media pages. The domain will cost you money depending on which, if you go with GoDaddy, Namecheap, whatever. I use Namecheap. I also have some under Dynadot, and I do have GoDaddy, but GoDaddy is so expensive as far as I'm concerned. Although Namecheap is not cheap. So anyway, and then the 5th thing is to decide what you're going to do for printable or what you're interested in. It's not necessarily what you're going to do, just what you're interested in for printable, downloadable products. Number 5 is to figure out what you're interested in for physical products. And number 6 is what you're interested in when it comes to books. That's it. That's your assignment. Okay. I will say goodbye for now. You all have a blessed week, and we'll see you next week, I think. All right. Bye. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody had a question. You're welcome. Okay. Bye, y'all. I appreciate every single one of you.